Hello and welcome. This is Business Morning live from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago. It's countdown to May 29 and we are still looking at President Buhari's midterm reports. And of course, today on the show, we will be looking at macro and micro economy and what the international investors, rating agencies and lenders think of Buhari's 2 years administration. And we will be having Dr. Biodun Adedipe here in the studio, economist and senior partner at Adedipe and Associates, to discuss this with us. In the meantime, let's see a bit of what's in the news. The Senate has asked the National Electricity Regulatory Commission to prevail on electricity distribution companies to stop the use of estimated billing system to charge electricity consumers in the country. The Senate has also mandated its Committee on Power to look into complaints of high electricity billings by distribution companies across the country. Our correspondent Linda Ahibe reports.
The Senate laments that the customer had expected upon takeover by new owners that metering will be one of the issues that will be urgently addressed to restore confidence in the industry, as this is the only way to determine actual consumption. Instead, the DISCO came with astronomical monthly increase in the name of cost-reflective tariff.
Senator Melaye voices a concern expressed by many Nigerians. The failure of electricity distribution companies to provide meters to Nigerians, leaving many at their mercy through estimated billings.
A man who is paid 18,000 naira, who is expected to buy a bag of rice for 25,000, who is expected to buy a bag of maize for 20,000, is going to pay electricity bill of 25,000.
Electricity distribution companies have over the years set targets of a number of meters it hopes to supply to residents. But these targets have often not been met, leaving residents to pay electricity bills which the DISCOs can often not justify.
Mr. President, there is no solution in sight.
However, the chairman of a Senate Committee on Privatization says there is no solution in sight to the electricity problem in Nigeria. Other lawmakers criticize the privatization process of the power sector.
They don't have the money to buy the meters. They don't have it. They have no money to pay for the meters. They are technically bankrupt. So, unless we revisit the entire privatization process, unless we understand and dissect what went wrong, nothing is going to happen. You will still get estimated billing. I'm not holding brief for anybody. We have a catastrophe on our hands. There will be no light in Nigeria under the current structure. Regardless of what we say or do today, there is no hope in sight.
We need millions of meters. On Monday, we visited a meter testing facility because each meter has to be tested. But there is no capacity to test hundreds or thousands or millions of meters in Nigeria. We don't have that capacity. The DISCO are supposed to provide the meters. They don't have the money, like he said, and they don't have the technical capacity to provide these meters.
The Senate mandated its Committee on Power to look into the astronomical electricity billings by distribution companies across the country. Linda Akibi, Channels Television News.
In the meantime, the House of Representatives will today hold a public hearing on a bill seeking to amend the Stamp Duty Act 2004. The act provides for the fixing of 50 naira postal stamp on every legal document for business transactions across the country. Although the law had been existing for a long time, it became controversial in 2016 when the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Nigerian Postal Service decided to interpret it broadly and directed deposit money banks to deduct 50 naira on every deposit into a current account that has a value of at least 1,000 naira in a bid to shore up government revenue. The new bill seeks to expand the scope of the Stamp Duty Act 2004 and increase the capacity of the federal government to make money through the collection of stamp duties. And a look at events happening today in Lagos. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry is hosting its 2017 Presidential Dialogue on the Economy at the Oriental Hotel, Victoria Island. The dialogue focuses on the state of the economy and the progress made so far in the 2 years of the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Now, some of the major policy areas that would come under focus include the monetary policy regime, fiscal policy measures, and the recent steps taken by the present administration to improve the ease of doing business. The acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, will present a keynote address at the event. Key private sector players would also present the private sector perspectives on the economic performance under the present administration. Notable private sector speakers at the event include Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Obao Tudeko, the president of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Dr. Frank Jacobs, and the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele. State governors expected at the event include the governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, and governor of Lagos State, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode. The presidential dialogue will be chaired by the president of Nigeria Stock Exchange, Mr. Aigoje Aig Imokwede. And, of course, the policy dialogue is about now starting. In the meantime, Lagos State is holding its two-day international conference on investments towards next 50 years of Lagos. Mr. Aliko Dangote, Otedola, Patutomi, NRC, MD, PwC, Accenture, entertainment, digital media executives, and others will be in attendance at this event. Also today, the Asset Management Company of Nigeria will release its 2016 financial statement, and that will take place at noon later today. And let's look at the midweek market activities. Looking at the equities now, gains extended on the domestic bourse. The all-share index advanced by 0.69% to 28,286.43 points. Market capitalization closed higher at 9.77